Hey y'all, this is Brink bringing you another game in Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. And before you get all up in a knot about how I'm talking right now, I figured I'd just give you a tiny example of how folks around my hometown talk. Some of y'all probably don't know this, but I was discussing this with somebody else that was messaging me on YouTube the other day. I'm actually from southern Alabama, born and raised right on the Georgia line, where every word has at least 2 syllables, and if it doesn't, you just drawl it out till it does. So, yeah, my mom is from Pennsylvania, though, so we did hear around the house proper English and good enunciation of the vowels, which is why I can actually talk without tying my tongue in a knot and hurting your brain most of the time. And I will drop out of this accent in just a second, but just to give you a little explanation, I am not overdoing this accent. If anything, I'm underdoing the true southern drawl, because the elderly around my hometown, they love to take 4 minutes to say 2 minutes worth of stuff, and there's no such thing as an expletive, because all you need for extra emphasis is a little extra drawl on that sentence. The longer you drawl it out, the more you mean it. Alright, that's enough of that. That even hurts my ears coming across it. Back to my proper enunciation that hopefully even the YouTube scripting for closed captioning can understand. So, to address this actual game, after a little window into my previous life before all of this, we are going to look at a game on the Red Rocks. This is a 1 versus 1 between Fetterfool and Mr. Mackey, and hopefully I do not slip in any of that accent as I'm talking, because I kind of slipped into it today because I was around someone who was talking like people talk in my home area, and when that happens you kind of drop into your original dialect and it's kind of hard to break. So let's see if I can maintain my proper pronunciation throughout this cast. We've got a first bomber for Fetterfool. He is taking UEF in the red color. This is actually a ladder match, as you can see from the exact scores. Dodging with that engineer, trying to get it away and save his potential expansion. Going to drop to 10 health, and I bet you the next one is going to get it. Over here, we've got Mr. Mackey taking Cybran in the blue color. He's spotted that Tech 1 bomber. He's going to build a bunch of mobile anti-air, and he's got his air factory online. Not every day that you see a first bomber from UEF, but it is understandable because since the last balanced patch, the Tech 1 UEF bomber is actually pretty decent. It is at least as good as the Cybran bomber. That is, it has a very large area of effect, and it is extremely good at wiping out swaths of units. Makes it slightly harder to dodge in some cases with an engineer as well. Alright, Fetterfool is going to push his ACU across to the center. We do have some reclaim in the mid here, and this landmass is crucial. This is a Navy map. Navy is not absolutely vital, but I would say it is a very strong map manipulator, because it does contain a large circle of water here. You can get to the entire map with Navy. So usually we'll see both players building Navy, and I'm actually kind of surprised that the UEF player has not built a land factory yet, because as of now I'm pretty sure the UEF air factory still builds engineers slightly slower than the land factory does. Brilliant move with his mech marine, by the way. I was kind of wondering when he built the mech marine what on earth he was planning with a light assault bot on the middle in this kind of game, but now we can see he actually managed to run his lab around the outside edges and make it to the back before the expansion got established. So these two mech marines have actually made Fetterfool's life significantly easier, because he's not going to have to deal with any land units, and then he's going to directly engage Mr. Mackey and try to force him off of the landmass. And we can see the nice little factory push there. Mr. Mackey is going to get away, I think, but it is going to be a bit of a close call, although I don't think that it would be wise to kill him regardless, because it would end up being a draw game. Cybran does have the least amount of health, and UEF does have the greatest amount of health, but it is still not enough to survive a one-on-one direct fire death nuke. We've got drops coming out from Mr. Mackey. Looks like he is going to be dropping some engineers on this island over here. Yes, he is, and he has a much, much stronger air presence than Federfool does. Federfool is pretty much strictly pushing Tech 1 bombers at the moment, which on suicide runs can't actually be worth their mass when you're killing off build power, which it looks like that is what these are headed for. We got multiple Tech 1 submarines out. Federfool is trying to get some Navy control, but it looks like he's going to fail at that because we do have a torpedo launcher on here which hard counters submarines and not enough build power on his Navy to really get anything done this early in the game. Alright, so that is going to come out to a draw. Both players are going to keep their navies and have to back up away from each other, but Mr. Mackey is getting a leg up in land control. He is going to drop both expansions. He's well behind in eco right now, but we're going to see these 4 mass extractors help a great deal on that. Bomber's going to come across and try to kill off some stuff up there, but they're going to get a little confused in their pathfinding. Mr. Mackey really... there we go. Mr. Mackey needs to use those interceptors while he can to maintain those expansions. He does have far superior air power to Federfool, but Federfool is tearing him a new one with these Tech 1 bombers. He's got to front them in the correct places. The one advantage that Federfool does have in this situation is that he is Tech 2 land, which is going to allow him to push flak, which can potentially even the air fight. I think we're about to see that because these interceptors look like they're about to fly over a flak right here. Interceptors engaging. Yes, there's the flak absolutely obliterating these groups of interceptors. Gonna hang out right there. Flak's gonna move over and poof. Bye-bye interceptors. It's not instant air control, but it is pretty dang close to it. We've got subs moving in on the northern side. Do not do that. Why are you doing that? You cannot attack a torpedo launcher with subs effectively. But we do have Riptides moving across, attacking the build power. Going to kill that torpedo launcher with those things. The frigates are going to kill them off eventually with the help of the gunship. Nice rating with this gunship, by the way. Cleaning up some mass extractors on the outside edge. Cybern Renegade, the only Tech 2 gunship with area of effect, makes it brilliant at wiping out groups of engineers. It works very, very well on that. We've got a drop coming in. We do have Navy snagged by Federfool. Federfool did kill off the factory, and he does have 3 subs in the water to Mr. Mackey's 2, but that is rapidly going away due to this torp bomber. Looks like we're going to see this drop land. We've got a dozen Tech 1 engineers throwing down a radar, multiple anti-air, because he does know that there's Tech 2 air online. That means there's going to be a Corsair eventually, and a lot of those gunships that are already online. So he's got to do something about that. Going to throw down a land factory and build from there. Those Riptides really annoying Mr. Mackey. Going to take out 2 Tech 2 mass extractors, dropping his eco down. Actually, he is still ahead of Federfool. That Renegade did work right there, and it is still doing work. 3 interceptors going to come in and tag it. So actually, that did even up the eco score slightly. Mr. Mackey's going to have to rebuild there, was able to overcharge and then demolish the rest of those with the gunships. Alright, we've got 1 Tech 1 factory online. I would be building as many Tech 1 factories as I could possibly build. If you have a foothold, you need to exploit it to the max. And right now, this is effectively 2 factories because we got 20 build power here and then 4 times 5, which is 20. So 2 factories worth of build power up there on that proxy base. I'm trying to decide what to call that. I'm going to go with proxy. Alright. Federfool pulling slightly ahead in eco and score, and now he's passed by Mr. Mackey. But he is kind of lacking on map control, and I think Mr. Mackey is going to be able to regain control of his landmass because he has a whole lot of Tech 2 gunships. And a Corsair, actually. It was shot down, but a Corsair did make a pass, and we got another Corsair there. So air control is still firmly in the hands of Mr. Mackey, and Mr. Mackey is going to get back into the water. So kudos to him on that recovery. greatly assisted by these expansions out here that he is keeping. And he does have a Tech 2 naval factory right down here. That is kind of sneaky. Does Federfool have it scouted? He does not. Insufficient intel. Bad, Federfool. Bad. That is going to be a tremendous blow to the blind spot down there when nothing, nothing, nothing. Presto! Tech 2 Navy. Surprise! You got Renegades moving down. Those are going to snag a mass extractor here, a mass extractor there, but no cover from the interceptors, which should have been with them. And those are going to go down to a handful of interceptors. Got lots of Tech 2 power going down for Mr. Mackey. Not exactly sure. He is burning it off, actually. He does have enough mass income to justify at least the 2 Tech 2 gens, possibly a third. We've got, is that RAS? I think, no, that's not RAS. That is strictly overbuilt power. When you're overflowing 1K in a 1 versus 1 game at 23 minutes, actually 15K, and you don't have RAS, that is not what you should be doing. And we did get a scout down here. We've got Riptides coming in to kill off that Salem. Looks like we're going to see the submarines finish off this Tech 2 naval factory, and that is once again going to deal a tremendous blow to Mr. Mackey's naval game. And we do have a cruiser online for Federfool. That is going to be a tremendous help in this game, both in anti-air and in shore bombardment. And so sad. Corsair does not stand a chance against a governor. Alright, the submarine slash governor is actually doing pretty well. Well, and the Riptides. I was not expecting that to be this effective at this point in the game, but apparently Federfool does know what he's doing, and he does a pretty good job of securing a little tiny advantage and then exploiting it. So we're going to see that governor slowly mop up this expansion. That's going to provide awesome anti-air coverage for that naval group so that it doesn't get wiped out. I think, yes, it is Cybern, so it's going to take 5 Tech 2 torp bombers in one pass to kill that cruiser. If you send 4, I think the cruiser will actually kill all of the torpedo bombers before one can drop twice, and it may or may not vet off of that. I'm not 100% sure on that. Let me look, actually. Click on Federfool. Oh, he's already got several vets. Very nice, very nice. So that's got regen and the extra health. Drop! What is this? We've got 6 Mantis. He's got to move, though. He needs to get those in business before the bombers come. There's a Tech 1 bomber. It's going to come right across. He's going to miss the drop. Not going to get the point defense built. Going to run right around. Try to kill off another mass extractor, I think. Got more bombers coming in. And another cruiser moving around the top side. Now, you wouldn't think it, but frigate spam is actually the thing to do against destroyers, as long as you don't run like that. You need to micro back and forth to dodge the destroyer fire, and Corsairs failed up there. And engaging air over the top of a cruiser. Not a smart thing to do. Federfool is now regaining map control, so this is not looking very good at all for Mr. Mackey. We now have the better part of 65-70% map control in the hands of Federfool. Looks like Mr. Mackey is traveling southward at a great pace, and he does have the torpedo upgrade on his ACU. As long as he can protect his ACU from torpedo bombers, he is virtually invincible in this stage of the game with that Cybern ACU, because it will take a whole lot of Coopers to kill that thing. And then we've got Riptides in the base once again, and there is not a whole lot that Mr. Mackey can do about it at this point. He's building Corsairs. It looks like he is going to be able to kill them eventually, but it is a tough time. That was a horrendous raid. That hurt to watch. All that Tech 2 power going down. Mr. Mackey is slowly but surely headed towards power stall. That was a brilliant raid on Federfool's part. And Mr. Mackey is still killing Tech 2 naval units. And when I said the Tech 2 Cyber and ASEU with a torpedo upgrade was ridiculously strong, I was not kidding. This thing is ludicrously powerful versus Tech 1 Navy. You just about can't kill that ACU with Tech 1 Navy unless you build like 50 Tech 1 subs and swarm it. And then versus Tech 2, it actually stands an extremely good chance of surviving, and the incredible range on this. Let's take a look at this. That is the torpedo range of the ACU. It is like double the Cooper, maybe? I'm not sure. There's the Cooper range. No, it's not double. It's a good 10 or 15 more, though, I would say. So you can kite Tech 2 naval units for a short period as you're walking away, but Navy is fast, so that's not incredibly effective. But anyway, what Federfool needed to do in that position is to build a couple of bulwarks and micro them so that they just barely cover up the Coopers, so that way he could directly pardon my oxygen deficiency. That way he can directly engage Mr. Mackey's ACU without risking the loss of his Coopers, at least until the shield health is gone. So many frigates. Holy kashmolis. And then we've got a transport running the ACU away. And there's the drop. So he is safe. So we've got Tech 2 torpedo bombers that were being saved up to kill that ACU. That was a very timely escape from the water. And now we've got gunships moving across. He did throw down some anti-air, and then he's walking back. He has a whole lot of frigates in between him and that air. So that is a good place to be. Very good place to be. We've got Riptides moving up the center, Coopers, Destroyer, and 2 cruisers moving in on the right, and so many bombers. Holy cow, that is terrifying. But somehow Mr. Mackey is still hanging on by a thread and a prayer. Not quite sure how he is still in this, but he is. He did reclaim this expansion. He is actually ahead on Eco. That's a very nice base up here. I would actually love to see a TAC launcher up there. Not sure what the TAC launcher range would be. Let's find out. We've got a Tech 2 engineer somewhere. Right there. Oh, nope, can't reach. Map is bigger than I thought it was. So he would need to build in a different location. Alright, we've got Janus coming down on that ACU. The ACU is now in a bit of trouble. We've got a destroyer bearing down on it. We've got Tech 2 bombers hammering away. And if he stands in one spot too long, he's actually got the cruisers on him as well. He's down to 86. And still going down. Overcharged some tanks there. 62, building his shields, and here comes a cruiser fire. Don't stand still. There it is. There's a shield over top of the ACU now, and we have a brick drop. Fantastic work from Mr. Mackey. He is going to raid Federfool to death. Federfool, working with complete naval control at the moment, has a pretty good, I think he does have air control as well. There are some interceptors at the back here. But considering the fact that there's 2 cruisers sitting right off the shore, I think we can consider that a net air win for Federfool. And these 2 gunships are going to slowly work on that brick, along with that Tech 1 point defense, till it is finally killed. This is a ridiculous amount of back and forth on this game. I was not expecting this when I started this replay. It's like Federfool builds up this huge head of steam, crashes down on Mr. Mackey. Mr. Mackey barely survives, and then he comes back to do a bunch of raiding and a bunch of damage. And he is claiming most of the reclaim. He has double what Feder has. And Federfool is actually overflowing mass at the moment. He is about to. That is terabad. Federfool, you should not do such things ever. You need more build power. More build power. We've got drops over here. No, that is not drops. That is riptides. My bad. They simply waltzed right across the water. No transport involved. But that is a transport dropping 2 flak. Not sure why it's flak. Running back to pick up the combat unit. Ah, yes, Fetterful. I wish I had built more power. Well, you should have built more build power. That is the issue at stake here. Got cruisers bearing down on that main location. Need to, ah, yes, there it is. It's like he's reading my mind. I was about to say he needs to build some trebuchets. That is going to give him great help in pushing the destroyers off his shore at least. And that way all he will have to deal with is the cruisers. And that will make life a bit simpler. What have we got all around here? We got a paused naval factory. We got plenty of build power on Mr. Mackey's part, but not exactly in the right areas. He really needs some navy, which is coming online at the moment. That won't be a concern for very long. But he keeps losing his expansions to navy, and that is a bad thing to have happen to you. Fetterful not reclaiming his mass extractors. He has got the island, and he is maintaining his grip on the island through sheer determination, but he has not claimed all the mass extractors on the island, which kind of makes it a moot point. So he needs to really get on that. And then these tanks up in the north, not sure why they're sitting still, but it looks like they are going to die just as if they were normally functional moving tanks, so all is well in the Supreme Commander universe. Veterancy is veterancy, no matter how you get it. Fetterful pushing out some Tech 1 air scouts that are going to zip up towards the northern side and provide a little intel on what is going on up there. That means that Monkey Lord has been scouted. It is 3/4 built, so at this point it is getting a little bit late to stop it, but at least it has been scouted, so I'm not going to have any surprises there. Got a loyalist over here. I think that was dropped. I would imagine that it was dropped. And it's going to do a nice little bit of harassment before it finally dies. Cruisers fleeing the scene, leaving a trail of smoking missiles behind them. And the Monkey Lord begins its inevitable that's all, folks. Monkey Lord begins its inevitable march down south, and mega drops, which are mega obliterated by trebuchets. That was actually really funny. And more Januses, killing a oh my, oh, 500 health. That was the unluckiest standing next to a power generator ever. And then epic dodging skills. Holy cow. Why? Ah, that was so close. Mr. Mackey, I'm terrified for you. I know that you had tons of adrenaline flowing through your system at that point. Fetterful accepting his fate and face planting directly into that Monkey Lord. That was so freaking close. I can't believe that. 500 health escape. That is one Tech 2 bomber drop would have killed this ACU. And he got away alive, and the Monkey Lord finished peeling the face back on Fetterful's ACU. Alrighty guys, that is game, set, and match. Hopefully you enjoyed it. That is going to be my cast for the day. I am out of here. As always, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I did not separate your eardrums from your ear bones with that introductory accent. So anyway, that was just a little fun to throw you guys away. I was not kidding though. I am actually from Southern Alabama, even though you may not guess it. Alrighty, that is it. See you guys in the next one.